defense spending preparedness are also being raised in NATO, which also happens to be the cornerstone of European security. The United States is planning to withdraw access to long-range military capabilities from NATO. The move comes at a tense time. U.S. President Donald Trump has been increasingly angry at some NATO allies over their refusal to join his war on Iran, while the alliance has been planning for the downsizing of U.S. assets available for Europe for several months. Senior officials have publicly downplayed the implications. For more, we can speak to André Loesekrug-Pietri, president of the Joint European Disruptive Initiative, which has the wonderful acronym of JEDI. André, thank you for speaking to Paris Direct. First of all, if the U.S. is withdrawing these long-range capabilities from NATO, what does that mean for the alliance, and how will Russia be looking at this development?
Yeah, it's obviously a very bad sign. The US is very busy right now in the Gulf and also pivoting, but that's not Donald Trump. It started with Obama to Asia and China. I must say, the warning has been here for many, many years. It took the full-scale invasion of Ukraine for the Europeans to finally get that they need to get their acts together. And when you see the problems that there are in budget discussions in the UK right now, the fact that France has a lot of budgetary issues to ramp up its military spending, countries like Spain not really walking the talk to the 5% spending, some can understand the frustration of the US. Now all this happens at a very bad moment, and the signal sent to Vladimir Putin is obviously the very bad one and will be a boomerang effect for the US.
Yeah, and you say the warnings have been here for several years. Who is responsible for maybe not heeding those warnings? One of the criticisms of NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte was that some said the security alliance was unraveling under him, and he should have had a plan B.
Yeah, well, I think there's a double effect. Number one, the Europeans are coming out of a very long, basically sleeping beauty moment, the 20 or 30 years following the fall of the Berlin Wall. So we talk about the importance of defending ourselves, but it has not yet become really something ingrained in societies that our societies and our countries are at risk, which didn't happen since World War II. And the second thing which is happening is that war in itself is shifting extremely quickly. The case in point is Germany right now. Germany is still investing heavily in tanks, in armored vehicles at the moment where the drone war, just in Ukraine, the drones are responsible for 50 to 80% of all attrition of the Russian effect. So you need, number one, to build up your capabilities, but also to change in what you invest. And this double effect happens at the moment where most of European governments and the Commission are still plagued by what I call the communication effect. I mean, we do big announcements, but execution and turning that into reality at speed is something that the Europeans still don't get.
Yeah, and I like that comparison to Sleeping Beauty. So down the road then, is Europe's security independent from the United States just a fairy tale?
Well, for the moment it is, and we could see recently in some exercises of NATO that were done in Latvia and one in an island close to the Swedish coast, that actually some small drone operators were able to defeat an entire brigade from 2 or 3 NATO countries. So it is today not the case that the Europeans are not able to really defend themselves like a full-scale invasion in Ukraine. But the positive news is that we got the message. It's now just a question of speed, and speed is the second thing that counts. We often talk about billions. You probably noticed when there is a war plan, or we talk about 2, 3, 5% of GDP, that these are billions. It's important, the money. But what is even more important is to be able to do that very fast and to adapt the capabilities to the speed of which war is changing. And every 3 months you have a new technology popping up on the Ukrainian battlefield, but also in the Gulf. We could see that recently.
Yeah, a lot of developments and innovative fighting in Ukraine, also with what we saw in the Gulf, as you point out there. Just wondering, with the prospect of a peace deal in the Middle East, would that change the relationship between the Trump administration and NATO, or should that be something that NATO is not even worried about in terms of how it reforms towards the future?
I'm not sure I get your question completely.
Well, this comes at a very difficult time because Donald Trump has been very antagonistic towards NATO members for not joining the war in Iran. If there is peace and the war in Iran is over, does that change the relationship between the U.S. and NATO?
Well, what is clear is that the fact that this war in the Gulf was decided without any coordination with NATO allies has led to many NATO members not participating, and we can understand that. But also in Washington, there's a big frustration that nobody came to help, especially when it becomes difficult with the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. I would say there is one good news. Number one, the attention will be back more to Ukraine, because Ukraine is one of the big, I would say, side victims of what's happening in the Gulf. It has completely distracted the attention of most of world powers. And it's important that we don't leave that hot war becoming kind of a cancer in the middle of Europe. So I think it is I still believe it's in the strategic interest of the US and of NATO members in general to make sure that Ukraine overcomes, or at least that there is a peace deal, which would not just be a gift to the invader, which is Russia. So I think it's for Ukraine. It's positive. Actually, the Gulf War was positive in one term. 1 month ago, Zelensky toured the Gulf and was able to demonstrate that actually his drone capabilities and in drone operators were able to defend, sometimes even much better than Western armies, the critical infrastructure of the Gulf state, Emirates, Kuwait, Qatar, etc. And that has left a very, very strong impression.
Yeah, it's interesting to see the way these two words have merged, as you mentioned there, Ukrainian drone defense technology. Thank you so much for your time, André Loesekrug-Pietri. Thank you.